Happy Wednesday. Listen, today's broadcast, we are talking about the power of Black women to lead a movement. So if you're interested to know what Black women are doing with all this turmoil that's going on, they're getting things done. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I got a couple things we're going to talk about today. I got my brother Jimmy with me today.
Yes, sir. My soundboard up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But we're going to talk about a couple things today. We're going to talk about, like I said, Black women leading the movement. Also, talk a little bit about Drake. We're going to talk about Walmart DEI, all the Drake. Yeah, Drake. And then we're going to talk about a couple of fun things too, but stick around to the end of the show and you'll love it once you get to it. But Jimmy, how much would you pay for a banana?
Hey, yo.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
All right, let me yo.
Don't fall for the banana on the tailpipe trick.
Crying up paying for no banana, man. But I already know where this is going. Yeah, I'm cool, bro. Like that. I mean, this is 2024 though, so and people are willing to spend money. You know what I mean? Like I remember one time I was on Amazon and I saw like a book that said, what was it? It was like how to sell a book for how to make $200,000 or something selling books. And then the price of the book was $200,000. And
so you're not going to answer the question, right?
No, I'm going to tell you. My point in saying all that is you can sell anything in 2024 for any price you want to. Something is only worth what somebody is willing to pay. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And that's what it is. But for me, I don't even know what a banana costs, bro. I know I sound clueless and that sounds a little bougie, but I don't even know what a banana costs, bro.
All right, well, check this out.
Tour. Comedian returned in full force to our galleries here in New York and has been widely admired by a huge audience. As an addition of 3 plus 2 artist proofs, one of which is part of the esteemed Solomon R. Guggenheim collection here in New York, we are excited for its auction debut this evening. And with that...
Now, you see that, right? That's a banana with some duct tape. You see that, right?
I saw this whole video, but I swore it was like parody. Like, see, and that's another thing about 2024. I don't know what's real and what's parody.
This is real, but I'll break it down to you.
We're going to begin at $800,000.
He said $800,000, y'all.
Yes.
Just so y'all didn't mishear.
$5 million for the banana. Here it is. Only at Sotheby's. These are words I never thought I'd say. $5 million for a banana. It's your expensive banana, Jen. And the hammer is coming up. This is it. Final time. Carly? Don't let it slip away. 5,100,000. Fair warning now to all of our global bidders at 5,200,000. Here it goes. At the end of the global tour, it's slipping through the auction room at 5,200,000, and I'm going to sell it here. Fair warning at $5,200,000. Jen, the Catalan is yours. Congratulations. Thank you very much indeed. Battle number 17.
See.
$5,200,000. Now that's not all. It's actually more than that because you have to factor in the auctioneer fee. It's a commission again.
See what I mean? Like this is what's wrong. This is why we can't have nice things, man. Like this is the problem with this country, man. Like, yeah.
So that cost $6.2 million.
Come on, man. Like it's people out here starving, but I'm not gonna get on that type time. Like people could do whatever they want to do with their bread, but like that's egregious, man.
All right, so there's a whole story behind this banana.
Nothing that's gonna justify it.
Hear me out. So there's an artist that did this thing, and you'll be surprised who bought this because this is why we need you here because Jimmy is the Bitcoin god. So this artist made this because it said people are too ostentatious, they too bougie, they too crazy, and there's too much money just floating around out here with all the rich folks. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just going to get a banana and I'll become a millionaire by selling a banana with some duct tape. And so in 2019 at Art Basel, he sold not 1, not 2, but 3 bananas and 3 pieces of duct tape to a board. And they went for about $120,000 to $150,000. Sold them all.
Mm-hmm.
And now 5 years later, it just sold for 5.2 million. But it proves his point because he did it as a joke. He did it as he was trolling.
Yeah, no, I understand all that, but it also proves that money laundering is alive and well.
Well, I wouldn't say money laundering. That's not the point. It's a lot of money up floating there.
Yeah,
but guess who brought it, Jimmy?
It's money laundering. I can bury, you know, never mind.
Guess who brought it?
Who bought it?
The founder of Tron.
Another shitcoiner.
Damn.
No, I'm just saying, man. And this is the problem with shitcoining, man. Because when you shitcoin, you end up you lose all reasonableness, man. You lose all reasonableness, man. Like we got real life stuff going on out here, man. People out here playing in our face and then buying bananas for $6 million, man. Like this is egregious, man.
You think that's egregious?
I mean, yeah, amongst other things, yes. And then the way they're all laughing around and all this, it's like, it's egregious, man.
So the man's name is Justin Sun. He's the founder of Tron.
I know exactly who Justin Sun is. He's the one that paid all that money to have lunch with Warren Buffett to try to, talk him into it. I know exactly who he is.
Right. And so people, by the way, shout out to everybody that's in here. By the way, welcome to the Wealthy Wednesday segment of the Finance Rebel Show. But it's a little bit special because me and Jimmy have been up here cooking. And so we decided to join forces. So it's not just the Finance Rebel Show. This is also the Black Wealth Rebel Show as well. So we're going to see a lot more of us together chopping it up on screen.
Yes, sir.
But yes, this is Justin Sun's, this is his doing.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. It's just like, to see their faces and the way they're laughing, like, and I understand the trolling and all that, but it's just,
it's what?
It's a bad taste in my opinion. When you see everything that's going on in the world, it's like y'all out here just playing around with like bananas and tape. It's like, I don't know. That's just my opinion, bro. I get it. I understand why people laugh and think it's funny and all that. I just don't find it to be funny.
But wait, it gets worse. It gets worse. So there have been people who ate the banana. So the person that Justin Sun, right? He has to change the banana out. He then has to also change the tape out. People have eaten the banana before it was sold. And so the way they broke it down was like the art exhibit is just a claim, right? That you brought it as a claim of authenticity, but it's not really art, so to speak, but people will call it art. But you have to change out the banana every now and again with the real banana, with the new real banana. I don't know if it's GMO or not, but you got to change out the tape as well.
See, so this is and this is a problem. And I understand what they're trying to do because again, this is when you talk about value, what gives something value, how things hold value. They're playing with all the different nuances that go into value. But the problem is the scarcity aspect of it, right? And how they're trying to solve the scarcity aspect of it is by saying this claim. It's similar to an NFT, right? With NFT movement, what they were trying to do with NFT.
Correct.
It's very similar to that. But this is just like egregious because you're talking about something that, it spoils, Well,
it's funny. I mean, what they said all the crypto bros love it.
Yeah, I'm not a crypto bro. Yeah, I'm saying.
You Bitcoin guy. You the Bitcoin guy.
I'm a black rebel. I'm a black rebel, not a crypto bro. Because crypto bro, man, they don't get no yams. But it is what it is, man.
They don't get no yams. Damn. So you feel that's egregious, right?
Listen, man, I do. I feel like it's egregious. I feel like it's kind of tone deaf. My opinion, right? But again, this is just me, someone who focuses in the space I focus in. I like jokes, I like trolling, but that just to me is like, come on, man.
Hey, man, they got money for war, but can't feed the poor. I mean, This is one of the greatest examples of that, right?
RP, listen, man, I was gonna go on to a different. I was gonna say in Whitey on the Moon, but same sentiment. That Gil
Shout
Scott
out,
Heron,
shout out to Gil Scott.
Tupac
Yes.
Shakur. We talking about the gods.
No, but I think you might have me. I think Gil's is more apropos for this situation.
Yeah.
But before we move on to our next topic, just want to say what's up to everybody out there about that wallet. What up, what up, what up?
It's good.
Can't wait to hear that one. So he wants to hear about the black woman, I'm sure.
GC was really good.
What's up, GC? He says, shout out to Justin's son.
Yeah.
Anthony Bolton.
Ant, what's good, Ant?
What up, what up, what up? Thank you all for joining us tonight. I know you all could be anywhere, stuffing your face on Thanksgiving Eve. Or should we call it Massacre Eve? I don't know.
Nas said, I call you Holiday Hell Day, man.
Double purpose.
What's up, good brother? I was just talking to him the other day. He was telling me how he never wins Bitcoins on Friday, but we don't want to pull up. By the way, this Friday, for those watching, we got a special. I got it right here, as a matter of fact. I got an unopened and still in the box Bit Key. You know what I'm saying? From the good folks over at Cash App as a Big Key, but this was donated by my brother Omar as a giveaway. We're going to give it away on Friday. You know what I'm saying? For, we always give away Bitcoin, but now we're going to give away an unopened hardware wallet, a Big Key, which is probably the best hardware wallet for someone just getting into cold storage. So
Now, there's going to be a couple things people got to do to get it, though, right?
Absolutely. You got to subscribe to the Black Wealth Rebels YouTube page and then follow us on IG and TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Like we try and get our numbers up on our new platform, which is called the Black Wealth Rebels. It's a combination of us at By the Hood and my brother Kamari, the Finance Rebel. So we're going to create all kinds of amazing content. Some of the stuff we're working on, man, I'm so excited about because it's things that I've always wanted to do. And now a platform to do them under. So this is going to be dope. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We about to form like Voltron, but we already have formed like Voltron. That already been happened.
Yeah, that's already done. You know what I'm saying?
But now we're just taking it to the next level.
Let's get it.
All right, so let's get to the rest of these comments here. You know I like to acknowledge everybody. All right, so we got Pascal.
Pascal.
What up, what up, what up?
Pascal. Can a white band dance? Before little New Jack City quotes.
Oh, man.
Yo, one of these days, man, we got to do a breakdown of New Jack City, man, because New Jack City is about black wealth.
Okay. And if we're going to do that, then we got to do a breakdown of More Better Blues.
State Property 2.
School Days.
Baller Blocker.
You boys go to Mission College. I mean, there's a lot, right? Because shout out to Eddie Murphy. Shout out to Spike Lee. Shout out to Tyler Perry. I mean, a lot of their movies are about black wealth. I know TP gets a lot of flack, but if you go to a lot of joints, Daddy's Little Girls, one of my favorite Tyler Perry movies, I still recite it to this day. I mean, even in Medea, right? The Bull Bryant, he's a lawyer and he's always trying to help Medea stay out of trouble. And there's some gems there, man. There's some gems there.
So here's the thing, right? At this point, I think Tyler be trolling a lot because some of the ideas and concepts that people point out that they have a problem with, it's like he doubles down on it, right? It's almost like he's saying FOH to you within his art.
Well, no, he has said that. He said, all you people that got a problem with his art are bougie Negroes.
He did say that.
He said, this is for the real. That's what he said.
But to me, though, like one of the things that like has never bothered me is when I never understood this, right? If somebody makes content that you don't kind of vibe with or like
why tune in?
Exactly. Like, you know how many hip hop artists make music that I just don't like, but I just don't listen. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, it's like, but I won't spend my time complaining about that. I think we spend our time complaining about things that we don't like, and we need to spend more time complaining about the things we do like. A lot of times.
So did you like Ice Ice Baby? Was Vanilla Ice or you're a fan?
No.
So is that one of the ones you would say you didn't spend no time messing around with?
I mean, I had the jukebox back in the day, and I'm aging myself now. So when you watch the jukebox, it came on nonstop. So I couldn't avoid hearing the song. But I never walked around like, yo, I hate Vanilla Ice. He's corny. And I just listened to what I listened to. But what I realized is, and it's a thing though, it's psychological because I was reading an article that was talking about like comments on Amazon, right? And how when people buy something that they don't like, they're more willing to leave a comment and bash things they don't like. But when they find something they do like, they don't go back and praise it, right? So, you know, that's just how we are as human beings. But I feel like we'd be much happier if we spend time just talking about the things we do like, right?
Man, ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, but I can tell you what people don't like. So even close friends, I can tell you the things they don't like. But then, when I think about it, like, what do you like? I don't know because you never talk about it.
People are inherent haters.
Let's just keep it real. Are you saying people in general, or you?
Listen. People love negativity more than they love positivity. That's why. No, even though I know you would, you probably.
No, I didn't say anything, bro. I didn't say anything. Like, you know, do you think it's a possibility to be an objective hater?
I'm an objective critic.
By the way, that's an interesting book too. It's a book called Objective Hater. It was written by Star from Star and Buck Wild. That's the name of his book.
Oh my God. Really? I have to look that up.
It's called Objective Hater. I read it years ago.
Listen, man, they ran Star out of Philly. Star might be the most egregious shit talker ever. ever.
He definitely like was someone who just, you know. Now, was it entertaining though? That's the question.
It depends on what you call entertaining.
Because he might have been like, you know, what they call now COE. He might have been COE before that was actually a thing, like content over everything, where he just, you know.
No, he was clearly COE, content over everything, way before. He definitely led that.
Yeah.
He led all that.
Yeah, I mean, he say, listen, man, Star is someone who I call a blatherskite. And is someone who, you know, can get annoyed by blatherskites. I actually found him entertaining.
Blatherskites?
Yeah, it's a word.
Shit, you got me beat. I thought, you know, I was the king with besmirchment, but blatherskites?
Look it up.
I will. Listen, I love words, so I definitely will look it up.
Look it up and put it on the screen for the folks, man. I'm gonna help y'all expand your vocabulary, man. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. Well, then,
it's BLATH.
Yeah, I was about to say, you know, I didn't go to that top rate school like
Here you go. I'm going to help you. Just while we're going to focus on that, we're going to add that to your vocabulary tonight, right?
But you know what?
I know you can find good use of this word.
I don't know if I would call it top rate. It's more like a cult. All right, how do you spell it?
BLATH. Blather, right? Blather, Skype.
SKITE, right?
That's correct.
This is hilarious.
I'm just showing you, like, you know, that I wasn't just making a word up, but that's how I would define Star, right? So it's a blather. Okay.
A person who talks at great length without making much sense. Well, shit, that's all of social media now. Right? I mean, am I wrong?
If you say so. But there you go. Like, you know, but I find him to be extremely entertaining, though. Like, you know, even though he's a blatherskite, right? So, you know.
All right. So listen, shout out to Jimmy. He pulled that SAT word out of his whole asshole, but blatherskite is the word of the day.
That's our word. All right, we can start talking on. I'll bring new words to us all the time, man.
No, I'll do it too. Listen, I love words. So again, blatherskite, a person who talks at great length without making much sense. And don't let me see y'all taking the words without giving us credit. You heard it first here. Oh man, that is hilarious. Blatherskite. I'm going to be saying that a lot.
And that's why I said I want you to look it up and share it with you, because it's always great when you can besmirch someone without them knowing they're being besmirched.
That is a fact. All right, so moving right along. I want to talk about the next topic today, and this is Walmart. So let's check this out real quick. I don't even know what to say about this.
The holiday shopping, I want to get into grocery prices, but I got to ask you off the top to talk about this report I'm reading in today's Wall Street Journal about how Walmart is pulling back on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs under pressure from a conservative activist. So a few of the changes here: phasing out the term DEI, winding down the Center for...
And just before we get into this, right, DEI is the grandbaby of affirmative action. So there's a direct correlation to anything affirmative action, DEI, and black people. Black people got all this popping. Sadly, we wasn't the ones who benefited the most from it, though.
Racial equity, no longer giving priority treatment to suppliers based on race or gender diversity, and preventing sellers from listing some transgender-related or themed items on the website. So is that accurate from what you're hearing, and why the changes?
Now, just to set this up a little bit better, if you're reading the screen, right, this is the CEO of Walmart, the largest employer in the United States.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's they're number one.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
According to Elon Musk, it's the federal government, like, you know, the way he's been talking. But, you know,
he's a blatherskite.
There we go. I love it.
He's absolutely a blatherskite.
Well, first of all, good morning and thanks for having me. It's great to be here. I'm in Houston, Texas, in our Friendswood location, so it's exciting to be in the store this time of year. First, let me say, like many companies all across the United States, we've been on a journey and we continue to be on a journey. And what we're trying to do is to ensure that every customer, every associate feels welcome here to shop and to feel like they belong. And that term belong, we've been talking about belonging now for almost 2 years. Early 2023, we started talking about belonging. And we're going to continue to make the best decisions we can that makes everyone, our customers, our associates, feel like this is an environment they can shop in and thrive in.
Is diversity among your suppliers still important to you at Walmart, John?
Now, before we get to the answer, a lot of people give Gail a lot of flack. I think Gail's a pretty good journalist, but I know a lot of our community.
Most people don't know what a journalist is anymore, right? Most people, like, we live in a world of bloggers and podcasters. I mean, and I'm not slandering that because, I mean, we blog and podcast, right? But there's a difference.
No, but we at least try to bring facts. When you're a journalist,
hear me out. What I'm saying is,
bloggers and social media people don't give two shits about facts.
Not all of them, though, right? So we got to be fair. There are some that do.
Okay, I'll say 95%.
Right. So, but my point is that
we are 5%ers.
Hey, we are members of the Philadelphia Association of Black Journalists, by the way. Kamari sits on the board, for those who don't know. Like, he don't like to, brag about himself. But with all that being said, there's a difference between someone who just creates content and someone who's an actual journalist, right? So, and she does get flack, but, like you said, she's a quality journalist. I would say so.
Well, let's get into this. Matter of fact, let me rewind it just a tad so you can hear the question.
They can shop in and thrive in.
Is diversity among your suppliers still important to you at Walmart, John?
Well, starting with our company back in 1962, we were a small business, a single store that operated.
When they start naming dates, something's about to go wrong.
He's going right to his bag. Like, let me answer your question with a story.
Out of Rogers, Arkansas. And so we'll continue to do the things that we can do to ensure that small suppliers have a path to being successful, not only at Walmart, but in their business in total. Every year we really focus on made in the USA. About 2/3 of what we sell is either made, grown, or assembled right here in the United States. We have a program every summer called Open Call.
Damn, it's taking them a long ass time to answer a question about diversity. But
where we welcome in small suppliers. And we welcome in people that have an idea, that are an entrepreneur, and they want to learn. So we're going to continue to lean into ensuring that we provide the very best pathways for small businesses, our suppliers, to be successful here in the store. If I had more time, I could take you around the store and show you a few of those examples. But there are a lot of them, and there'll continue to be more.
All right, John, you mentioned that 2/3 of what you have is made in the U.S.
Now, wait a minute. Did he ever answer the question?
No, right? He didn't really answer the question. So, but that's one of those statements. That's one of those statements that I can tell was cooked up in the boardroom, right? When you get asked this question, here's how you respond to that. Because you say enough so you can kind of say, I did answer the question. I talked about us dealing with small businesses. So you can, he can play semantics. He answered that in a way that he can play semantics and say that, he did answer, but he really didn't, if you want to get down to it. Now we got your man getting ready to come up and ask a question.
So was he blatherskating? I'm just saying. Listen, I love getting something and then using it. I'm just saying. Like, this is crazy to me. All right, so he doesn't answer the question. The next point of this doesn't even matter. I wanted to talk about DEI I feel all this DEI nonsense is an attack on black people. And we see a lot of this started with, not a lot of it, it all started with the Supreme Court, with the Trump nominees that went onto the court. Then the Republicans had a billionaire guy launch a whole bunch of anti-DEI, anti-LGBTQI attacks and lawsuits. One everybody can look up is Harvard. They went after the professors at Harvard, and this started a whole snowball effect. And this just goes to show politics does matter, y'all. I know y'all think it don't. And when I say y'all, I'm speaking about the broad general y'all, because I know the people watching, they know the deal. But politics matters, man.
Politics and money are tied. There's no way to, they're
Hold on. Before you start the blatherskate, politics and wealth are tied.
Money too, not just wealth, just money.
I know, but I wanted to go to the next level because it's bigger than just money, right?
Yeah.
Most black millionaires and billionaires usually got there because of a government contract. A lot of times.
No, absolutely.
Even the white folks, they got the millionaire billionaire status because of a federal government contract. And so I think a lot of times we miss out on that.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely true. But what I was saying is just in general, because at every level of wealth, money, whatever, however you want to classify it, politics plays a part. But, we were talking before we came on, and I was telling you, like, when it comes to DEI and even with the Walmart situation, I have like my own thoughts, which, many people may have a problem with, is that, I was listening to Malcolm earlier, right? And Malcolm was talking about how a lot of times.
Malcolm who?
Come on, man. El Hodge, Malik El. You see.
Listen, I want you to state it for the record.
You see the art behind me over here, man? That's actually
I see Leon.
Leon Sullivan. Right next to Leon Sullivan is a photo of the ancestor looking down on me. That's Malcolm. Anyway, that's
it. Looks like a Grammy over there, but
well, no, we talk about that another time. But listen though.
Hold on. Grammy. Jimmy got Grammys on a bookshelf. I just want to say that.
It's not a Grammy. It's an award, but it's not a Grammy. We'll talk about that another time. Now, with that being said, though,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And one of the things that Malcolm said, though, he said that a lot of times we spend too much time, in his words, right? He was talking about, the white man versus the black man, hating the white man. He said they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Our problem should be with ourselves because we're not doing what we're supposed to do, right? And I was that set with me because I've always thought about his line and saying that. And when it comes to DEI, first of all, if you want to consider them the other side, I'm an independent, so I don't lean left or right. But what I'm saying is they do a great job of taking like phrases and terms and just like making them evil. Like, look what they did to woke. Look what they did to the word woke. Now what they're doing with DEI, right? Even the idea of saying Black Lives Matter is problematic is hilarious. Like, why is it a problem to say black? You see what I'm saying? Like, but their marketing and their bots and their machines do something different. They made DEI a bad word, but now I'm blatherskating. But what I'm saying is that they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do, right? You said that Walmart is the biggest employer in the country, right? We don't control Walmart. And I saw GC mention in there that the family still owns about 40% of all the shares of Walmart. Correct. We don't have any control of Walmart. Do we even have anybody on the board of Walmart?
That's a great question. Everybody watching, can y'all do us a favor and look that up?
Yeah, there's anybody of I'm not even going to say of color. Is there a black person on the board at Walmart, right? So so if they decide tomorrow that we're going to move this way, there's really nothing we can do about it, right?
Agreed.
So. And that's the problem. The problem is we don't own or control. So if we don't focus on getting our own, Walmart, now obviously, can't just start a Walmart tomorrow. But what I'm saying is if we don't support our own and grow our own, it doesn't matter. Like the idea of DEI, like it just doesn't matter. They're doing what they're supposed to do. And for me, I expect this kind of behavior. So when you expect this kind of behavior, it's hard to get upset because this, we're at war and don't even recognize we're at war.
There's a war going on outside. No man is safe from.
So it is what it is, man.
So Walmart, just for everybody watching, Walmart stock right now is trading at $91.88.
Wow.
That's what it closed at today. It was up a little bit 3 points, three quarters of a point today. All right, Walmart is a $731 billion company. Actually, rounding up, it's a $732 billion company. Billion. Bees, y'all. I'm talking bees. So that's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive.
Hey, Jamil, I see your question. I answered it already, but I'm going to tell you again, we are, in fact, live. We are live in, one man always say, we are live and direct.
Live and direct. Oh, man, I'm thinking about KRS-One. All right, focus. My ADD is kicking in.
I was quoting King Erner. You know, I know Jamil knows who that is. That he be on the YouTubian streets. But anyway.
Oh, I don't know that YouTubian.
You don't know King Erner made from Philly, but we'll get into that.
Really?
I'll send you some King Erner stuff. You know, see, he said it right there. He said it in the comments.
Okay. But live and direct goes back to KRS-One now.
Yes, I do remember KRS-One. Yes,
special request. Special request. Yes. Okay. All right. But this movement with Walmart is really, really interesting, though, right? Because you would think it would take a billionaire to get $1 billion company to move some things.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't the case. That ain't the case. There's this guy by the name of Robbie Starbuck. And let me just put him up on the screen real quick, because he's actually really happy. And so when we're talking about being at war, I think a lot of times that idea goes over a lot of people's heads because it's so ethereal. You can't really see who it is.
Yep.
But this guy, you can kind of tell who he is. He's bragging about this.
Oh, he's outside. He's outside. He's been outside.
Yes. And this isn't his first target. It's his biggest target.
Yeah.
But this is not his first target. Ford's on the list. Caterpillar's on the list. It's a lot. It's a lot. But all right, I want to put him up and see what he has to say about this. He's really proud of himself. He's feeling himself.
Hey, listen, that's his word.
Now, before I go into this guy, Robbie Starbuck, is a Cuban American. So just marinate on that.
This video because honestly, this is different than everything else we've done because this is the single largest employer in the United States. We are talking about a company that is worth almost $1 trillion on its own. As many of you know, I have been investigating a massive company now for a while, and I have kept my lips sealed on who it was. Now I can reveal it was Walmart, but something incredible happened in the course of my investigation. Walmart became aware of our investigation and reached out to me. This was critical and honestly turned out pretty fantastic for everybody involved.
Now, if you tie in what he's saying to the interview we just watched, I think you'll see a lot of things come true here.
Opinion. We were able to have frank conversations with Walmart. And as I've said for a long time, I don't ask companies to take on my political views. I am simply advocating for corporate neutrality. I believe that that is the future because I understand there are people in this country who do not agree with my politics. So it would not be fair of me to force my politics on them the same way that I am not okay with left-wing policies being forced on me and people like me via things like DEI. After various conversations, I am very proud to report to you guys that Walmart has decided on making some changes. I'm going to lay out what those changes are for you and explain how massive this is for our movement. We are unstoppable at this point with a 100% flip rate where we change corporate America and get them back to a culture.
He just said we are unstoppable with a 100% flip rate. Talk about stats. Talk in your book.
Bullet point number 1, Walmart will be removing all inappropriate sexual and or transgender products that are marketed toward kids, things like chest binders for teenagers or books that encourage transition.
Now, I find this interesting about a lot of conservatives that complain about transgender in their products and services. Because I've never seen, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I've never seen a transgender company, person, thing market products directly at children. I find that utterly sad. Going back to Jimmy's point, how they flip stuff.
It's low hanging fruit, and you know that it's going to resonate with people, so you say it, right? I was looking at some data from the last election, right? And it was going over what part of their campaign was successful and got the needle moving. And they said the single most piece of advertisement that worked on either side is when Trump had that ad, and it said that the one that had like Charlemagne the God and all those folks in there when they were talking about like Kamala wanting to get surgeries for transgender prisoners. And at the end of the ad, when it said Kamala is for they, them, and Trump is for like, I forgot what they said, like Trump is for us or America, something like that, whatever they said that was the single most effective ad in the entire campaign out of all the billions and billions of dollars that was spent, because it hit its needle. So someone sat in an office and created that, like, Kamala is for they, them, and Trump is for us. And they, that was like the highlight of their entire campaign. So I say that to say, when people say things like, these products being marketed, it's low hanging fruit. You're going to, affect someone emotionally. So you do it.
And I'm going to go back to the video real quick, but it's funny that you brought that up. That policy actually happened under the Trump administration. That's hilarious. And I'm very familiar with that commercial because I just fell in love with Reasonable Doubt. Not the album by Jay-Z, but
the TV show.
The TV show.
I told you to watch that like a couple years ago on the first season, man. But anyway,
I don't remember that. I don't remember that, sir. The show is awesome. I watched all seasons. It's amazing, but you got to watch it on Hulu. No shouts out to Hulu because they're not paying us for commercials. However, at every commercial they put up, it was that ad, or it was the ad of this immigrant just came over and raped the 5-year-old girl 5 times. Like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Well,
and they kept running it over and over again. And then the next ad was a Kamala ad, and it was really nice, soft, and Philly, and factual. So here's the thing: facts don't matter. In elections, facts don't matter. It's about emotions. It's just like sales.
What did main man say on the first campaign? Those are alternative facts.
Yes, or fake news.
No, but here's the thing, right? So that's why they say things like that, and you can put pressure on companies when it's allowed to be done. So that's why I was thinking about what GC said about whether it was an activist shareholder or just someone who considers themselves an activist, right? But
normally to move a Walmart, you got to be an activist shareholder, not just an activist. And I'm sure there's probably some right-wing billionaire behind him as well.
No, absolutely it is. And this is where things are leaning anyway, right? So, but the thing about it is, though, I think the bigger question, right? And before I get to this question, because I want to ask you this question, but there's a book. It's called Dark Money. It's by
I've read that book. That book is very excellent.
Yeah, by Jane Mayer is her name. It's called Dark Money. And in that book, they go over all the dark money in politics, but it's a huge section on the Koch brothers. And one of the things they talk about is forget your feelings, right? About how you feel, whether you lean left or you lean right.
Correct.
It's the fact that we all have our politics. Everybody has their politics. I know some people like to say, I'm not political, but we all have our politics. And at the end of the day, everybody doesn't always agree with your politics, but there are some people who are willing to put their time, energy, effort, and even their resources in terms of money behind their politics. And people complain, but they don't do the same, right? They're not willing to do the same. Now, sometimes it can be evil, which the book gets into. Sometimes people have like evil ideas, but these people who have the evil ideas are willing to fight and put money behind it. We just want to sit around on our keyboard and be happy-go-lucky and complain about what they're doing, but we don't want to fight the same way. The same way you just talked about the ad, how the one ad is effective and the other one is like, sunshine and rainbows and factual. But
so that's nuance. But let's get through the rest of this, and I'll come back to that. Oops, I messed up. Jimmy, you're making me nervous.
Positioning, that is all going to be gone. Bullet point number.
All right, hold on. Let's go back a couple seconds. There we go.
Transitioning, that is all going to be gone. Bullet point number 2, Walmart is going to review and stop funding to all events that could be sexually inappropriate for kids. That includes drag queen story time or pride events that expose kids to sexually inappropriate topics. That's all going to stop going forward. Third bullet point, Walmart will be closing their racial equity center. This is a center they had committed $100 million to, and it was a 5-year project. They will be closing that center going forward. Fourth bullet point, Walmart will know.
Now, if you remember, Walmart namely Walmart CEO Doug McMillon, pledged $100 million for the Equity Center for business grants to Black or diverse candidates. So I saw somebody in the chat ask, did anybody benefit from DEI? So I would say yes. Mostly white women. However, there were Black companies. There were Black companies that benefited as well.
Hold up. What did sis from Apple say about DEI? That 12 white men with blue eyes are considered a
diverse group.
And
technically, she is right, but it's wild as hell to say, and that's part of the reason why we have so many problems now.
Now hold up though. The lady that said that from Apple was a Black lady.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
And we talked about that in the show. I gotta bring that clip out. Yep. But all of this happened with Walmart as a result of the murder, the assassination of George Floyd, and then the protesting, which then led to rioting. A lot of people didn't want to smoke. I have a good friend of mine who said that created a feel-good Negro moment.
So let me ask you a question, right?
Hold on. And then what she said was, well, now that feel-good Negro moment is over, and people need to recognize that. But go ahead, Jimmy.
I guess the question I'm asking is, how do you see corporations? This is the question I was just talking about a couple seconds ago, because he said that he wants corporations just to be neutral, right? You just sell me products. I don't want to know your politics as a company. So the question I have is, how do you see a corporation? Is a corporation something that is supposed to, contribute to society in other ways outside of the goods and services they produce or distribute? Or are they supposed to get involved in social issues and political issues? Like, how do you see a corporation? Should they just be neutral? Because if you think about it, at that time when they pledged the money, right? And I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with it. That was the right thing to do for their brand at that time. Now, where politics are leaning and how everything is changing, this is the thing to do. But like they're doing their best to protect the firm. If the FBI spits in your direction, you do your best to protect the firm. They're going along with the flow. I'm not saying that it's right, but it sounds like they really don't have any beliefs.
Correct.
They believe in making chicken.
Yes, they believe in making chicken, which they all do, right? And they just blow like a leaf in the wind. And so they don't have any beliefs. They don't have any values, right? Because think about all the people that work for Walmart. Mm-hmm. It's well known that a lot of Latinos work at Walmart, even some undocumented. So just imagine what's going to happen now. It's crazy, but let's get.
Guess what? Too, and I think GC made the point too. Like, if the tide swings back the other way, they're gonna be all down with whatever policies, and you got to be right back at it, because to them this is just a game. Like, so, but I was asking you, like, how do you see corporations? Do you think that corporations should do more, right? Or do you take a no-treatment approach where they're just here to make money?
So businesses are here to solve problems, right? Primarily.
Okay.
But corporations are always involved with politics. The fact that corporations get so much corporate welfare, tax breaks, even for profitable companies, that's political. Everything is political. So the fact that, a company is going to say that they're not political or they just want to sell things, I think it's bullshit. I think old boy Robbie is full of shit too, but he has the complexion for the protection, and to be that, we do not. So it is what it is.
Is anybody that is affected by this, are they going to stop shopping at Walmart?
Well, I was going to come to that. I want to talk about that. I definitely want to talk about that. But let's go back to this.
No longer participate in the HRC's Corporate Equality Index social credit system. This scoring system is what has brought wokeness into so many segments of corporate America, and we are happy to see them no longer participating.
There's that word again.
There is not a corporation in America that should be participating with the HRC's CEI scoring system going forward. The HRC got explicitly political in the 2024 election, working with everything they have to defeat Donald Trump and calling him every name in the book. It is time for companies to recognize that they need to move away from this system that is explicitly political and embrace corporate neutrality so that everybody is welcome in their stores. Fifth bullet point, Walmart is going to be reviewing their supplier diversity programs to ensure that nobody's receiving preferential treatment on the basis of race. And they will also ensure that financing eligibility will no longer be predicated on providing certain demographic information. Sixth bullet point, and this is a favorite for me, being Latin.
Now you talk about wealth, the supplier diversity program. That's where the businesses are. That's where a lot of wealth is made.
Yes, it is.
I mean, listen, you can make money 9 to 5 too. You can make a whole lot more money though with a business.
Hey,
Could be more risky though, right? So think about any of these Black-owned businesses who were working with Walmart. Where
shop
are
the
they at now?
blog.
Oh yeah, the pies.
Yeah,
And
Patty
this is our season. This is our season.
She made some M's in Walmart with them pies, man. Like, you know.
Yes, she did.
That's the
Yes, she
auntie,
did.
man.
Yes. But I mean, just think about this. So this right now clearly is an attack on Black wealth. They don't want us to have no money. But it's almost like Reconstruction. And again, y'all know I'm a history nerd. During Reconstruction, right after slavery ended, right after alleged emancipation, Black folks were making strides. They got elected to office, they had businesses, they was doing some things. White folks said, uh-oh, this ain't gonna happen on my watch. We got to change this shit up. Hell to the no. And then they created Black codes, and then Jim Crow. And so it's almost like what it was before during that time. Any thoughts, Jimmy?
No, I got a lot of thoughts, man, because but it all goes back to the main thing, man. What are we doing? Like, so if we have a problem with this, right? And to be honest with you, I don't even think that a lot of us even have a problem with this. When you told me about this story, I didn't even know what you were talking about, right? You know what I mean? This didn't come across, and maybe I got, you know, too much ratchetness on my feed right now. You know, maybe it's too many cheeks clapping on my feed. But what I'm saying is, this didn't even make it across like my feed.
Did you just say cheeks clapping?
You know, forgive me, man. Forgive me, man. I just, you know, I try to have a balance between.
I guess we can't be a family friendly show.
No, we are family friendly, but no. My point is this. So I don't even know if people are upset about this, but when you look at it, and this is one of the reasons why you saw kind of like a defection from the quote unquote left side from a lot of Black people, right? Because people feel like they're not being heard.
That's
right?
not true, by the way. Numbers, the data doesn't.
No. But here's the thing: the data doesn't show that it was overwhelming, right? But the data shows that even if you look at 90, so if you have 92% voting for somebody, that means 8% went the other way, right? And in certain states, you don't need but a small percentage, right? That's the thing about voting blocks. You don't need a lot of people, but if I can get enough of you with what I already have as my base, then it'll work, right? But that's not. But the point I'm making is, and even if that's just voters, what about the folks that didn't show up at all? The point I'm making is, if you go back and study like the Roman time, the only reason that people got involved in politics was to protect their family and community's business, right?
Personal interest.
The Romans used to actually say this out loud. Like, the reason we're going to have someone from the family become a member of Senate is to protect our interests from our community and our family, right? We continuously vote people in that are supposed to have our interests. But if you talk to someone and ask them how their state rep or their congressperson or their senator has voted on a specific bill, they have no idea, nor do they hold them accountable, right?
Well, wait a minute. Can we be totally honest?
Yes.
Most people don't know what the fuck a state rep does, nor a senator, nor a
We have
congressman, nor
Google
a
in
city council.
2024. We have Google.
And people don't. Yeah, we got this thing here that like the greatest brain computer we've seen of our lifetime. People don't use it.
I mean, hey, it is what it is. But what I'm saying is,
that's why people Googled how to change your vote and all these reds the day after the goddamn election.
See, this is the thing, right? This goes to my overall thesis, right? That there is a constant war going on, and a lot of us don't recognize we're at war because we have Jordans and iPhones, and a lot of us are living a great life. I mean, there's also people that are caught up in poverty where they don't even have time to think about the issues that are affecting them day to day because they're caught up in trying to survive. So when you have a society like that, you know, it's bread and circuses. Going back to ancient Rome again. Give them a little bit of bread, you know, a little bit of entertainment, and they won't pay attention to what's really going on. I was telling you before we got on, I've been listening to a podcast now. It's called Putin's Trader, and they get into how their Russian teams over here who are insider trading and day trading, and they're connected directly to Putin. But one of the FBI agents who's part of this podcast, he talks about like how we're at war right now with Russia. But in 2024, wars aren't fought the way they've been traditionally fought. So there are no tanks. There's not missiles being launched. You can't cut your TV on and see someone with any sort of like,
unless you're in the
heavy artillery. He said wars are now fought through trying to infect someone's computer, through trying to insider trade in their particular market. Like there's all kinds of other wars that are fought day in and day out. And he said Russia and the U.S. have been at war for 10 to 15 years. No one's going to come out and say it's a war, but those at the highest levels of government know that it's a war. And, it's cybercrime for the most part.
Correct.
But this is what's going on, not only between U.S. and Russia, but between our communities and, the powers that be. But most people don't recognize it's a war because we're able to have social media. We're able to have fun. You get caught up in watching the cheeks go across your screen sometimes.
Happy people.
So at the end of the day, we don't even recognize that there's a war and how to react to said war. So,
well, in order to react to a war, you got to study war. Nobody wants to study war. Study war, you got to study history.
But first, you got to know there is a war, right? I'm saying we're going to go back beyond it. If I feel like if you go ask someone, are we at war? They're going to say no.
Like I said, you don't know what a war is because you don't study it.
And listen, there's going to be a lot of people.
You don't even know what it looks like.
People going to be getting together tomorrow, having fun, doing what they do. And that's needed, right? So I'm not anti spending time with family, but I'm just saying there's the conversation about what's really going on when it comes to housing insecurity, food insecurity, you know what I mean? How we're being treated in the finance space, redlining, all these different things, right? This is all happening in real time.
I agree. Well, let's finish this out real quick because we got more to go, y'all. We got more to go.
Latino myself, Walmart will no longer be
I'm a Latino myself.
using the term Latinx in any of their official communications. That is going to be wiped away. I was very disappointed to see it was there. But again, this is
what kind of self-hating person is mad that their ethnic group gets recognized and he doesn't want them there?
Well, some of the stuff that people get mad at is hilarious. Like, why do things like that make you lose sleep? Like, I'm sorry.
I guess because he doesn't get to see cheeks and he doesn't have anything to do.
See, this is what I said, man. Yo, if people got cheeks, the world would be a better place because we wouldn't be worried about some of the stuff we worried about. This is from a lack of cheeks.
very disappointed to see it was there. But again, this is across corporate America. So this is a company, Walmart, who is doing the right thing here. And I want to give them credit for that. Getting rid of this big. We don't want to hear Latinx ever again. Bullet point number 7, Walmart will be discontinuing their racial equity training through the Racial Equity Institute. Again.
And so this goes to the point of representation matter. I do believe representation matters. Having people working at Walmart at a higher level above than just the associates doesn't seem like they hire a lot of associates anyway. That's why there are always lines at Walmart. But managers at these stores can make good money. So again, this is another assault on Black wealth. I mean, I don't know any other way to call it or what to call it. Let's get back to that. Let's see. Tired of looking at this dude, though.
Getting rid of woke trainings. And last but not least, drumroll please for the big one, DEI. They will be discontinuing use of DEI both publicly and privately at Walmart. This is a massive win for our movement. The momentum just keeps growing. This is the largest employer in the United States, worth almost $1 trillion. Other companies are taking notice. Suppliers of Walmart are taking notice now. With Christmas right around the corner, I'm happy I could deliver you guys one retailer that will drop the woke policies. You've still got Amazon and Target acting crazy out there with wokeness. So I'm glad I could give you guys one at least. And yes, we do have our eyes on Amazon and Target. America just voted, and we voted against wokeness. We voted for sanity. We voted for corporate.
So I wonder if that had something to do with Jeff Bezos not wanting to run the ad in the Washington Post.
Hey, listen, I'm looking at their board of directors, right? So the guy that you showed in the original video, he was the chairman of the board because that wasn't
That's the CEO.
No, the CEO is Doug McMillon. That wasn't Doug McMillon on the video.
That wasn't Doug McMillon?
I don't believe that was. It looks like maybe it was because Gregory Penner, who's the chairman of the board, is not the CEO. So they have a chairman of the board and the CEO are two different people.
Okay.
All right, but the chairman of the board is also the owner of the Denver Broncos. But they do have a sister on the board. Her name is Carla Harris. She's a senior client advisor at Morgan Stanley as well. So she's
Carla's dope. You never seen Carla before?
No, but she sits on the Walmart board.
Yes, and she's also a financial advisor with, I want to say,
Stanley. She worked at Morgan Stanley.
Morgan Stanley, yes. Okay, yeah. She's been around for a while.
She's been doing her thing. Yeah, so she's on the board. So,
I mean, I feel like since this is a black show, we have to talk about the black sister, at least so people can know who in the world she is.
Yeah, she's on their board. So to answer that question, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, I don't get mad at anti. I mean, listen. I understand why someone would, but it don't bother me because, listen, man, we got to do something different.
No, I'm not mad at all either. I mean, we've been at war. I'll spare you my politics, but my politics, we are black. And we're black first. And maybe I won't spare you. I feel like a lot of times we put being American above being black, even though America never puts being black above anything else. So I think our priority is a little bit messed. Need a little bit of realigning.
The thing is, I don't even know. I mean, that's not my experience because I don't know if I've ever talked to a black person that says I'm American. Like, maybe online, some of the.
They don't have to say it out loud, but their actions reflect it. I'm an American. My ancestors built this land. I'm entitled. I'm this, but we don't get treated the same, and there's no denying that.
That sounds like some FBA and ADO slander, right? What you're saying, but
it's not FDA slander. Listen, I don't even recognize FBA and ADOs. Both of those things are retarded as fuck. At the end of the day, it's about unity. You'll never see any of these other groups publicly fight like we do. Again, I'm not paying attention to other groups either.
I was getting ready to say you must don't be online, Mike.
No. I mean, no.
On my timeline, I somehow got caught in my timeline on X.
No, but my point is, right, if you look at the Jews, the Zionists and many of the Jews, they got beef, but it's not at the same level of the way we do.
Listen,
it's
man,
a total different thing.
The folks from Ghana and Nigeria be on my timeline clapping.
That is not a beef. They mad over jollof rice.
They mad over everything, dog. They be going at it. And I'm outside looking in. I'm just sitting there reading it like, yo, they going crazy.
Okay, so they're still up.
But I feel like I understand what you're saying. So you're in your box where you're looking at this, but I'm telling you, other folks go at it. But here's the thing, though. Here's what I will say.
The example you use are still us. Nigerians and Guyanese are still us.
They are us, yes.
Yes. So it's still, if they are really fighting the diaspora wars, it's still dumb.
No, but hear me out, though. Hear me out. I feel like every race I've seen Italians and Irish go at it. Like this is something that we're talking about the internet now. Everybody goes at it. But
correct. And everybody has their internal strife.
But I feel like a lot of times the issues that we do have are just pointed out more, right? They're pointed out more. But
that's a fact.
It's
and we also run our mouths more. A lot of stuff we talk about publicly should not be talked about.
Yeah, right. So GC puts up a point too. Like, look at Ukraine and Russia. They're technically from the same lineage, and they go. Not only do they go at it online, they drop bombs on each other. Like they really get to it. But I guess the point is everybody does it. It's just that we spend time in black spaces, so it kind of upsets us. But everybody does it, dog. Like it's a human behavior. Humans, you said it earlier, man. Humans are haters. Damn, wow. That's a T-shirt.
But here's the thing, and I hear and I'm seeing it what a lot of y'all saying. I get it, but none of them have the enemy like we have, and so we're not going to win by debating over ADOS or FBA because that's all. And what's crazy is that's all about getting recognition for reparations. Mm-hmm. So, do you really think we're going to get reparations because of a couple of letters that we choose?
No, but the one thing I've always told you that I appreciate from FBA and ADOS is that it's a good way to describe someone, right? So
is it really?
It really is though, like because a lot of times
but is that really?
No, I mean it does work. It's descriptive, but at the end of the day,
You're a closet FBA.
No, I'm not. I believe
I'm gonna make you an FBA shirt.
I'm not an FBA dog. I'm probably more Pan African than anything else.
If you Pan African, you can't like FBA. You can't like
anybody. I don't dislike anybody. That's the thing. The thing is
about the idea of it, not the actual people.
But even listen, man. People gonna do what they want to do, man. For me, I'm all about the upliftment and doing the work. I don't listen. Here's the one thing that I learned, like my mother taught me, and it took her years and years to drill this in my head. Right. What I do understand is, because when people don't agree with me, I used to like really snap out and be like, "Why not?" And it took her years for me to understand that. Everybody doesn't have my life experience, my lived life experience. Everybody doesn't have my background. Everybody doesn't come from where I come from. So everybody is making decisions based off of their lived life experiences and whatever data they have in their head, right? So when I see people that separate themselves and fall into these different buckets, I don't get upset. I wonder what makes them make that decision. What data do they have that makes them feel like this is the best decision for them? I don't have time to get upset. I got too much work to do. So I feel the way I feel. I want to focus on doing the work that I think is pertinent as opposed to taking all my time to complain about what somebody else is doing. I don't care what somebody else is doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just where I'm at with it. I feel like we can get mad at people for their decisions, like some of these corporations or these governments, or we can do something, right? But there's a lot of people that have that fight of, I'm going to go and do these things and I'm going to protest here and do that. And guess what? In the words of Sean Corey Carter, man, everybody got a part to play. I
would agree with that. That's why I said representation matters.
Everybody got a part to play. Back to yours.
And I also agree that what are we going to do? Because a lot of times, a lot of our actions, right? People are still going to go to Walmart. Black folks are still going to go to Walmart, even though they're using Walmart as a tool in the war against Black people. We're still going to support it. We're still going to give our bullets away. Because, you know, I always say dollars are like bullets. Our money is like guns. It's like our weapons. We give our guns and our weapons and our bullets away. Yeah. And we give them to our enemy. So what are we going to do? They're going to go do with that. All right. Yeah, true. But what's the alternative? The alternative is to buy Black. Maybe you can't buy it at the same level and scale. I know that's what's going to come next. But
I haven't been to Walmart in years, and it's nothing political. I just discovered Sprouts, and once I discovered Sprouts, I haven't been anywhere else. Like,
I don't even know what that is.
See, I just got down with Sprouts, dog. Sprouts is like, I don't mess with Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, ShopRite, nothing. I'm a Sprouts dude at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't even know who owns Sprouts. Although I feel like I need to be changed and need to go to the grocery outlet because, you know, that's for political reasons. That's political reasons.
No, I got you. So let's move on, y'all. Before we do, tell us what you think. Is this Walmart DEI thing a good thing or a bad thing? Put it in the comment section. Is DEI really that bad? But something a little bit lighter, but still a cost of Black wealth. Why is Drake getting so in his feelings and suing people? What is that about?
You know, it's interesting because I was thinking about it, and I actually went and like looked up the lawsuit. And once I read the lawsuit, I think my opinion shifted. When I first saw it, I was like, "Yo, we suing over a diss record, a battle that you lost." And you know, I found the document online, and I'm reading it. I'm like,
"It's right here." I'm not going to go into it, but I'll put it in the show notes. But I find it interesting. He's saying that that UMG, Universal Music Group, paid money to iHeartMedia through some payola schemes to then hire influencers to promote They Not Like Us.
So, but I think it's deeper than that. If you read through the whole thing, he's talking. So, all right, let's think about it this way, right? Well, first of all, I thought about the Game of Thrones when I watched this whole thing. I'm like, Kendrick and Drake are going at it, and Universal Music Group is like funding both sides. Like that's typical banker-ish.
That's the dang, who were they?
The Medici?
No, that's Rome. You said Game of Thrones. There
No,
was a film.
I was talking about the Iron Bank. The Iron Bank on Game of Thrones funded whoever, like, you had to come make your pitch to the Iron Bank, and they would give you some capital to fight. But the point I was saying is that's the first thing I thought of in reading it. But then I thought about it like, if any of the stuff that he's alleging in here is true, this is bigger than Nino Brown, right? And what I mean by that is he might be able to get a big check out of this. Now, from a hip hop standpoint, I think there's two ways to look at it. From a pure hip hop standpoint, it seems a little crazy. But are we talking about hip hop or hip hop business? Because I think there's two different things. Are we talking about the culture? Or are we talking about the business of music? If you can separate the two, I can see where this comes into play. But from a cultural standpoint, this looks absolutely bonkers. And I can see that too. So that's why I'm saying I'm kind of like in the middle somewhere. All depends upon which hat and which lens I'm looking at this through to determine how I feel about it. Because if what he's saying is true, and again, I'm not in the music business. I know nothing about it, but I know contracts. You know what I'm saying? Contract law is one of the toughest classes in law school.
True.
Actually,
the
single toughest class in law school, honestly, was civil procedure. But that's neither here nor there. Anybody in the chat that's a lawyer, let me know how you made out with civil procedure, because that was a tough class. But anyway, I digress.
Right, but a big point of this lawsuit also hinges upon him being called a pedophile. He didn't like that, right? But he kind of also initiated this battle. And he also is guilty of some lies himself. Mm-hmm. And I didn't pull up this clip, but if you look at Robert Markman, who is part of Spotify's, he's a part of Spotify as well, long-term journalist. They approached him, Drake and his team approached him as well to show him some favor. And it's funny, people also feel that Drake probably did pay academics and Rory and Mal.
They come off as being paid, right? It's one thing to be objective, and
I don't know.
Come off as being completely one-sided, right? So,
and hold on, let me say this: allegedly.
But here's what I will say, though: in today's landscape of media and content, no one cares about objectivity.
No,
so it's almost like you said earlier about facts, right? Being objective isn't cool. Taking a side, even if you're wrong, is kind of it's what I call like the pardon the interruption of media, right? I blame ESPN for this. If you really trace this back, this happened when they started all those ESPN shows with the debate shows, and people would just bloviate and just like say whatever will move the needle.
You don't think MTV with the start of all the reality TV?
So it's not really reality TV. So there's a book.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, the destruction of the brain, it seems like.
So there's a book. It's a book on ESPN. It's a huge book too, and I read the whole book. But they talk about that transition, and some of the guys were talking about how when they didn't take a side and tried to remain objective, the producers would come to them like, nobody's watching that.
Right.
Talk crazy about the Cowboys. Don't say how they made. Don't be objective. You gotta like pick your spots and just go crazy. And people keep pushing the needle further and further and further. But being objective is kind of like not a good thing to be in 2024. But that lawsuit, though, if you read through the lawsuit, there's some crazy things that he's alleging in terms of just think about some of the things he's alleging. If you did that in any other business, right, you'd be charged with a RICO if you did it in any other business. If in my business of real estate, if you did some of the things that he's claiming that UMG did, you'd be going to prison, right? They're conspiring to fix prices. They're taking pay cuts on streams, right? So first of all, you're going to say what a stream is worth and pay people based on those streams, but now you're willing to take a cut on your end just to promote. Like, it's some wild stuff if any of that is true. If it's just him being salty, that's a whole other idea. But again, I think it's the difference between business and culture.
I think he's salty.
Okay, and that may be true too, right? So here I go. This is not going to be really effective from a media standpoint because I'm trying to be objective, right? I don't care about Kendrick. I don't care about.
I care about both of them. I care about black people across the board. But I got what you're saying.
Well, what I'm saying is, Mr. Duckworth and Mr. Graham, like they're no kin to me. Like I listen to music. If you dope, you dope. If you trash, you trash. And, I don't get into your personal business. So, but I think it's interesting. And I do want to see how this plays out because, like I told you to begin with, this is bigger than Nino Brown.
Again, I find it interesting that Drake started talking about K-Dot's wife first. He got personal first. Now he's getting mad because the allegations of being a pedophile has been out there, and he feels that it's damaging his character.
Yeah, but I don't see that. That's not what I see. What I see is,
well, no, but that's what they are basing a lot of this lawsuit on. They're saying that UMG knew about the song. The song was going to damage his credibility. Well, UMG also knew about the song that he released, talking about Kendrick's wife and all the other stuff too.
Yeah, but one of them is up for renewal and one of them isn't.
Up for renewal? I'll break that down.
So again, I don't know all the facts. I know, and someone just put it in the chat too, that he's up for a deal renewal, right? So someone just put it in the chat as I said it, right? So that was a word that I saw too. Like he's negotiating, to get more bread, and part of him being up for a deal renewal, like, hey, we can lower your value. You see it in sports all the time.
Yeah, negotiating.
You know what I mean? You see it in sports all the time. So it's like, let's hurt your credibility right before you can, now we got to renegotiate with you. Although your numbers are here, let's hurt your brand a little bit. Like, so again, I don't know what part is true, what isn't true, but I do know what's alleged in the lawsuit, what's documented. And if any of that is true, it's bigger than Nino Brown. I think this has nothing to really to do with Kendrick Lamar. I think it's all about Universal Music Group.
Possible. Oh, and by the way, House Targaryen is the crew.
Oh, that's what you're thinking of. Okay, yeah. So this is more about Lucian.
So they're not the Iron Bank, but they got coin too.
No, but the Iron Bank.
I know the Iron Bank is like the central, like the feds to us.
Yeah, so, well, folks will get on the boat and go see the Iron Bank. Like,
no, I got it. But the House Targaryen is kind of like Warren Buffett. Everybody goes to them when they need a loan. So they got a lot of sway. And I hope we're not losing any of y'all. Is anybody here a Game of Thrones fan? I know I am. I've been watching House of Dragons as well.
I got to catch up on House of Dragons.
Yeah, listen, they had the most representation there. Their DEI quota was up on House of Dragons.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And the Lannisters were good at paying off debt, though. Lannister always paid their debts, right? So, the Lannisters, the Lannisters were Dave Ramsey.
That's hilarious. Oh, but the Lannisters were honorable.
Nah, nobody was honorable in the show to be. If you want to,
No, listen, no. We're not going to slander Ned Stark, right? Because he was a Lannister, right?
Ned Stark was the most honorable man on TV. That's why his head was on a spike with him.
Right, that's why I got killed the first.
That's why.
But he also took care of his nephew and portrayed him as his son, which is crazy.
It's honorable, but that's how you got your head on a spike, being too honorable. Right? If Ned Stark wasn't as honorable, we wouldn't go through. Anyway, man, we sidetracked right now. So we getting sidetracked and clapped from close feet.
Hey, listen, things happen. But I thought the whole Drake thing was interesting.
It is interesting. I mean, I think it's the first time we've ever seen anything like this. Like, think about some of the things that Jay said on Super Ugly, right? Or Nas said on Ether, right? It's like,
right.
I never thought we would get here in terms of a rap battle. But that's why I said, when I first heard it, I was like, yo, I went like, he corny. I went in that bag. I went from the culture standpoint. Then I read the paperwork and I said, okay, looking at this from a different lens. So I really don't know how I felt. I think my answer to the question is based upon how I'm looking at it. From a cultural standpoint, is weirdo behavior. But from a business standpoint, if any of this stuff is true, I mean, then again, here's a whole other, like, where my tinfoil hat at? I gotta find me. Matter of fact, I gotta order me a tinfoil hat for the shows.
Keep the tinfoil hat. No,
hear me out. I'm gonna make it real brief. What I'm saying is, I also thought about Universal Music Group is one of, if not the most powerful company in music.
It is the most powerful.
Some will argue these days that Spotify, but guess who owns a huge percentage of Spotify?
Correct. Yeah.
UMG does, right? Which is also collusion. But anyway, that's another argument for a different show.
Ownership isn't necessarily collusion, but I got you.
Yeah, you're the distributor. Like, you guys are price fixing. Who determines how much a stream is worth?
I mean, you could say it's anti-streaming, but then you got to prove with other competitors.
Who decides how much a stream is worth? right? And the big labels all own majority of equity in Spotify, but they're also the ones that are dictating, they're negotiating with themselves. All right.
Yeah, but Spotify isn't the only kid on the market. You also have Apple Music. You also have
Spotify is the
YouTube.
biggest.
You also have YouTube, right? So
Yes.
it's getting interesting. But
Spotify is the biggest.
But I found this clip and I wanted to see what you thought about it. So check this out.
You know, I got all this shit hanging over my head, but you off trying to start a war with our partners.
The nigga diss me every time I see him, acting like he the one in charge and shit.
In Compton, he is the one. You lose. Every time you bite with that nigga, and I'm the one that pays for it.
It's my brick, baby.
And you gonna get off his corners? You gonna leave his people be? Or you the one that's gonna find yourself a new plug?
You don't mean that shit?
The fuck I don't. I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just because you don't like the way another nigga talk.
So for the record, I must say this. I hate the N-word, but that scene might have been the best scene in all of Snowfall. I don't know if there are any Snowfall fans out here.
I'm a Snowfall fan.
I'm a Snowfall fan.
The one scene to me, which is like really, no one really remembers this scene, but to me was the craziest scene, is when the chick got on drugs.
No, Wanda. Yes,
and when
it was crazy.
When they asked him about her, not Wanda, the other chick that he was messing with. What's her name?
I know what you're talking about.
And they asked him about her, and he said with a straight face, no emotion. Oh, she on rock now. I was like, yo, that's a scene that will always like haunt me. But anyway, the point I was making is, I remember when, and again, saying that UMG is the most powerful corporation in music. You said they're number one, right? You know, all right, let's say that, right? You remember what happened when your man Sean Combs tried to sue the champagne company, right?
Diageo.
Yeah, well, he tried to sue Diageo. Everything went downhill from that point on, right? Now, obviously, he has skeletons in his closet and things that everybody knew about. But I'm just saying, you think the owl dude ain't got no skeletons in his closet? You talking about suing one of the most powerful companies in the world? So I'm interested to see how things play out. Now I'm gonna sit back and say, okay, you get in the courts with these folks, they don't play fair.
Get your tin hat.
Yeah, that's what I told you. I told you it was my tin hat on, man. I told you it was my. I'm just letting y'all know that's where my brain went, man. You know.
But you're right though, right? Money and power are not to be trifled with. I mean, I thought that clip I just showed was really accurate in a ghettoized way, right? Because UMG is the big dog. Yes, you could argue Spotify. Yes, you could argue some of the other ones, but UMG has got a lot of pull.
Absolute power.
A lot of stuff.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, if we believe that they never did any of the dirty tactics for him, then we're tripping too, right? I mean, he is the biggest artist in music, and there's always been claims of bots and things of that nature. So that's the business they're in. It's in a dirty business, man. You know.
I agree. I mean, it's always been dirty.
4080. You know what I'm saying? The God told us about, you know, the 4080, man. You know, about the
Q-tip number industry rule
4080.
4080.
4080.
Record company people is shady. Record company people are shady.
Yeah, that's right. 4080.
Yeah. All right, so we're coming to the main crux of the evening. Black women. Seems like black women get a lot of flack, but black women do a lot of stuff, and that hasn't stopped. And so I came across a couple things, and I wanted to show these things and get your thoughts, Jimmy, and everybody else who's watching, because I think it's kind of dope. But let's check it out real quick.
Share this video if you can. Let everybody know about the Buy Blacklist. Okay, so today I've updated the Buy Blacklist on our website, blackrevolutionarycollective.com. I wanted it to have more organization, so I made different categories. So I made separate categories. So now when you go to the website, it should look like this. This is how the home page looks. And then you look up here and you click on the Buy Black list. Once you click on there, you should see 4 categories: grocery stores / farmers markets, coffee shops, restaurants, and clothing brands. Those are the 4 categories we have so far. And everything is in alphabetical order, state by state. I hope to add more categories, so I'm going to need you guys' help. Let me know what other categories I should add to this list. We want to keep building it, and I also want to keep updating it. I want this to be a comprehensive list that everybody can use in their town and when they visit another place. So you can always buy black first. Also, for everybody that signed up for the Black Revolutionary Collective to be a member at one of our chapters, if you have not received an email, please make sure that you're checking your spam folder. If you just signed up today, you won't receive an email until the following day. But if you signed up a couple of days ago and you haven't received an email, please check your spam folder. And also, you may have to re-sign up if somehow you put in the wrong email address or it's missing a letter or something like that, because it does get kicked out if the email address is wrong. Also, I just want to say once again, I'm blown away and so grateful for all of you that are taking the first step to being involved in rebuilding our communities across the nation. And I look forward to meeting all of you and working with all of you. And stay tuned for more updates to this Buy Black list. And thank you to everybody in the comment section that have helped me edit this list and make sure that it's up to date. I really appreciate it. And as always, knowledge is power. Power to the people.
Power to the people. That's one kind of talk right there. So, but I found these people, this lady, shouldn't call her people, Melody Angel, on TikTok.
Okay.
And they're doing a lot of stuff and they're getting a lot of traction on TikTok. Not so much the other platforms. But I thought it was really interesting that after the wake of the Orange Monkey getting elected in office, now he's going to start doing his thing. Black people are starting to say, hey, what can we do? Like you asked earlier, Jimmy, what are we going to do about it? Right?
That's always interesting to me. And I had an old head tell me that a lot of times, like there's always like, there has to be like a balance. Like you got to have ebbs and flows. The same way you do with the stock market with your, president and political offices. Because when people get scared of what happens, they actually take action. It's almost like they get too comfortable when they feel like they have an ally in certain positions of power. I don't consider any of them allies, but that's either here nor there. But she's dope. I found her through your posting of it, so I didn't even see her. One of the questions I have though about those list of black businesses is how do we somehow get things? There's so many little pockets, right? And people aren't working together. I have like 5 apps on my phone that found black businesses, right? And it's like, there is no one comprehensive list.
And I mean, to your point, right? There's been black business lists forever. And then everybody creates their own. Like, I think we just brought up Diddy. I think Diddy and Jay-Z were going to do a black business list. And everybody just keeps doing the same thing over and over again. But yet and still, right, the stats, the data has not changed. And we talked about Maggie Anderson the other day in her wonderful book, Our Black Year. So she says roughly 2% of the $1.2 to $1.8 trillion of black buying power gets spent with black-owned businesses. 2%. So out of all the other discretionary income and money we have, we only direct 2% of it. She said that this is their research. If they would just spend, if they being us, black people, would go from spending 2% to 10%, that would create 1 million jobs overnight. Yeah. So oftentimes we have the solutions within our grasp. We just won't use the power to put it in play.
So I always like to be careful before I speak on like numbers like that, because you know, what did Nas say in the Ghetto Prisoner song? He said something about like, you know, something about focus on history, but who writes the history, right? Who does these studies and all these things?
Yep.
Dr. Jared Ball's book is an excellent book, though. The Myth of Black Buying Power, you know, and
by the way, he actually is correct also.
So that's the thing, right? I didn't read his book and come away with, hey, we shouldn't support Black business. I've read his book and felt like, okay, here's a different perspective on it. We have to be careful about the numbers we just run with. We just be running with numbers. I was having a conversation with a guy that is a professor at the University of Pennsylvania, Wharton School of Business, right? And in this conversation, this gentleman was talking to me about.
Wait a minute. The current elect president is a graduate there, so that doesn't really mean much. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, he also was legacy and kind of
right.
Anyway, that's not my point. The reason I'm making a statement the way I'm making it is because of what I'm getting ready to say now. And he brought up the fact that, in his opinion, was a fact that Michael Jordan invests in prisons, right? That has been proven to be something that was like not even true and false. But I don't know who put that on him, but whoever did, they did a great job, because I hear so many people, specifically our people, and even people who, teach at what's considered one of our more prestigious schools, are just running with something that's straight made up, right? So,
but you know what though, real quick,
mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't realize this. Most people do invest in private prisons.
If you invest in S&P 500,
right, and through your pensions.
But
so I find it. But no, what I was going to say was, I find it interesting what people get outraged about.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that's not what was put on him. What was put on him is like,
I know he intentionally, right?
Yeah. So, and the funny thing is, he's one of these dudes that's like, it ain't true, so I ain't even going to address it. Like, I'm just going to go about my life. You know what I'm saying? And dress horribly and date Latino women. But that's neither here nor there. But
wait a minute, do you really think MJ dressed horribly?
He dresses like a child rebel soldier. I can't take credit for that line. My friend told me that. Shout out to my brother Phil Mack.
I don't know.
Dog, he be out here wearing baggy, holy jeans. Like, come on, dog. What's wrong? First of all, you're the owner of Jordan Brand. Just put on a Jordan Brand sweatsuit and sneaks and call it a day. But he want to wear like stupid looking hats, holy jeans with hard bottoms. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he called him Janko Jordan. But listen though, my point in saying that is, you got to be careful who you get information from. And I'm the king of what's the data say? What's the data say?
Correct.
But I also recognize that you have to figure out where the data is coming from.
Correct. And who's also massaging the data.
I'm not saying that Maggie is wrong either, though. What I'm saying is, I feel like we should just be more conscious of where we spend our money, right? We have to be conscious consumers. That's all I believe. Is like really understand that the power of the dollar, to quote Curtis Jackson, the power of a dollar is important. And be conscious about where you spend your money, like, and be conscious of supporting your own people. Have a little bit of grace when you support your own people. And it just has to be something that we have to just practice. It has to be part of our normal practice. That's all I'm saying. But just be careful with like the numbers of if this percent of people did this and this people, because they make you believe that we have money that we really don't have.
Yes, but it is true that we spend 2%. I believe that was confirmed by a Duke study. I forget the name of their business school, but that's not a lot of money.
No, right? But a lot of times they put these studies out here that's a form of white supremacy too. Like, hey, if you guys just handled your own problems, they want to put that. So it's a nuanced conversation, because a lot of these
definitely nuanced.
And if you want to talk about Duke University, you want to see some crazy history, study Duke University. But anyway,
listen, yeah, they had slaves that built that whole university. But yeah, but I say all that to say, right? A lot of times we are not really vigilant about spending money with our own people. You told the whole story the other day about, I think you said Vietnamese.
It was Vietnamese, yes.
Yeah, the Vietnamese gentleman, former client of yours, friend of yours, whatever, right? Says, why don't we do more to spend with our own? I think that's a low-hanging fruit thing, but it's also a true thing. And it's something that we could really do something about.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard. It's really hard. Now, that was one thing, right? Oh, boy. So listen, me and Jimmy, I'm going to give y'all some inside baseball. Jimmy loves to pause me out, y'all. Pause.
Wait,
Right.
yo, that sounded crazy. No, man, like
He's always talking about pause. It's a running theme on the show. And he loves to also say, that's what she said. Lord have mercy.
Hey, listen, I got that. I used to watch. It's gonna sound crazy too, but I used to love the show One Tree Hill. That's what the chick Brooke Davis used to say on there. So shout out to Brooke Davis from One Tree Hill.
Oh, I am not familiar.
It's really a 6F show, but I'm not gonna front like I didn't used to watch it. But that's either here or there, man.
Okay, all right. You're entitled for your own entertainment.
Don't judge me, man. Don't judge me.
No shade.
Don't judge me.
Now, another project I found by a Black woman, putting it out. It's called the Black. Anyway, let me get this right. Black Project 2025. And so, if you all know, with this election, there was just Project 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Well, these group of people said, well, we're going to create Black Project 2025. And again, I thought it was really interesting.
If we had a Black Project 2025, hear me out. I know it sounds crazy, but this is my vision. What if all of us were to get into a group? Okay, I'm talking doctors, lawyers, engineers. There's so many of us that are so talented, and we were to work together with our own Black agenda for 2025. I'm talking opening up Black-owned grocery stores in certain cities, Black-owned banks, so that way we can actually get our home loans and do what we need to do, our own doctor's offices, our own law practices, and we really were to just congregate and push towards our goals and our outcomes, right? And so this is how I envision it going. We can all get into this group. We can all donate what we have to donate on a monthly basis. And then basically we can have a CEO, we can have a CMO, and we can have a CFO that's in charge of leading the groups with the initiatives, right? We could have bi-weekly, monthly calls in regards to where we stand with our goals. So, okay, guys, we want a Black-owned grocery store in Los Angeles, built and developed, August 2025. This is where we stand. This is how much we have funded. This is what's needed. This is where we are in the process. And we just go from there. And so we can just kind of congregate. And then on top of that, in this group, we could also just have a massive directory of Black-owned businesses. So that means that everyone that joins this group swears off of purchasing from these large corporations. I'm talking Black-owned coffee brands, clothing, everything you guys can think of, toiletries, like down to everything, like body washes, everything we use and consume on a daily basis. It is no longer purchased from these large corporations. It is purchased from one another. And I think that we can create so much wealth amongst ourselves just by strictly swearing off of supporting large corporations and only supporting one another, and also congregating to create our own agenda. Now, I know that there have been people who have tried to do this before in the past, and I know that we struggle as a community to trust one another. I don't really care about all that right now. I just personally feel like if we are able to put our pride aside and get it done, I feel like it could be one of the most impactful things done in Black history. Like, maybe there is a silver lining in Kamala not being able to get into office, because as a community, we just become that much more tight knit. Do you get where I'm coming from? I don't know. I know it sounds crazy, but I just feel like this is something that we should do. And I feel like I feel very strongly about the ability for us to transform our community and the perception of African-American individuals if we were to really finally come together.
What do you think, Jimmy?
So well, first of all, a couple of things. I'm a well, watch what I say, man. It's almost midnight. So watch what I say. But here's what I was going to say. I think it's interesting how folks are activated now, and how do we keep the same energy all the time is my question. Because again, she made a comment in there like, now maybe there's a silver lining. It's like, salute to the folks that are always doing the work, right? But it sounds like folks are getting active now, right? Like, this is kind of making them active. The other part, it sounded a little talented Cynthian, the way she said, like, our engineers, our doctors, our lawyers, like, what about, our everyday folk, right? And I say that because that's a real movement. You can't just talented tent it out. And also, good luck getting gas, right? We're gonna do nothing but support each other. That's cool till it's time to get some gasoline in your car.
Maggie Anderson had that exact same problem.
Yeah. Like, so grocery stores used to be a problem, but I would say we got grocery stores popping up.
Yeah,
we got grocery stores popping up. Like there's one on Ridge Avenue that's a Black-owned grocery. That's why I said I gotta start going to the grocery outlet, because those seem to be, a lot of black-owned grocery outlets. The one is
at least 3 or 4 in the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
By the way, for everybody watching this it's in the thread, where are you from? Let us know where you're from. Put it in the chat for us. But yeah, I mean, we got what, 3 or 4 grocery stores? But it's at least 3.
So these 3. There's one on Germantown, and is it Mount Airy or Mount Pleasant? Is one of the mounts. Is it Germantown or Mount Airy? No, it's not Mount Pleasant. So it's Mount Airy.
It's Germantown and Horter.
Oh, it's Horter. Okay, so it's before Mount Airy. Okay, so Germantown and Horter. We got the joint on Ridge Avenue.
Right.
And then we got a joint. It's one in West Philly or Southwest Philly somewhere too. Anyway, so we got 3 of them that are operational, but the gas station thing is still a problem. I don't know of any places you can go, but I do like. I mean, listen, her idea is what we talk about every day. That's our life anyway. That's our default life.
Correct.
We don't need a good hashtag or cool hashtag.
But this isn't for us, right? And the reason why I wanted to talk about it is we should give these ideas life, even though this is what we do all the time.
Yeah.
We don't take no days off from being black.
Listen, man, the Jewish phenomenon. That's another book for you. In the book, he talks about.
You told me about that the other day.
No, but he talks about in the book how things are ingrained in them, where like you move a certain way and nothing has to be said.
Right.
You don't even need to come up and say we need to practice the black. Like you don't have to say that because in your house, since the day you're born, you're taught to behave and respond to things a certain way.
Yep.
So you ain't even got to say nothing, man. And that's where we got to get to, where we don't need like edicts or hashtags or things to follow. Like what she's talking about is powerful, and a salute to her because again, I like seeing people get active. It looks like something woke up in her. Not to use the term woke, but the fact of the matter is, it's like this is where we got to be.
But I mean, both sisters kind of said a lot of the same thing, and they're working toward the same thing. So, shoot, I would hope at some point their worlds collide and maybe they can work together. Because again, we have too many silos. We got too many people working over here on the same exact thing. We got too many people working over there on the same exact thing. I mean, for all y'all watching, right, Jimmy, I think you got the majority of the crowd tonight, brother. But when you look at our content is very similar.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot of people that talk about black wealth. But I don't think there's many people who talk about black wealth in the way that we talk about black wealth. And so it's natural that we said, all right, well, let's form Black Wealth Rebels and let's stop working in silos, start working together and be more impactful.
Yeah.
I mean, so I just wish more of us would do that.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they always say like, we not out smarter, we just out organized. And organizing is a skill set.
It is. There's definitely a skill set. But what does everybody else think about these 2 plans? We got Black Project 2025, and we have what are they called? The Black Revolutionary Collective. So I would encourage y'all to reach out to them, follow their movements, let us know what y'all think about them, and stay connected with them.
Yes. Oh man, Jamil says a black director is desperately needed. He said only one here in Knoxville with her own practice. Took him 3 months to find her, but she doesn't take his insurance. Yeah. Listen, man, I gotta give Kamari props on this. I got me a black ophthalmologist, got my my shades up there. I got a black dentist, and I met them both through Kamari. I was like, yo, I'm looking for a new dentist. My dentist retired,
Okay.
So
I didn't know I got you a black dentist, but okay.
Dr. Williams, man.
Oh, okay, Eric. Okay.
He's been my dentist for a couple of years now, but I got him through you.
I didn't know that.
Myself, my wife go there. We are. Listen, man, we support, man. Once we find someone we like, see, that's the other thing too, right? How many times have you heard this where you like, this is exactly why I don't support black. How many times you heard that, right?
Drives me crazy.
Yeah, but the thing is though, like, good business is good business and bad business is bad business, right? Regardless of whatever your race, creed, nationality, color, sexuality, it is what it is. But the fact of the matter is, you find a good one, you support it.
What I do find interesting, to the point you brought up, is that we don't have that same feeling when we get bad business from a white business.
Man, Walmart got the worst customer service than anybody in the world.
Facts.
and nobody will say anything about it. Yo, it'll be 100 people online. They have one person, and like they won't even have the self checkout joints. Like, nobody. It is what it is, man. Like, we got to really focus on building up our care and love of our folks. And once we focus on that, get that where it needs to be, we'll be fine though, man. Like, I really believe that we're gonna be all right. To quote young Duckworth.
J-Dot. Yes. All right. Well, this is about wrapping up our show, but I want to end on a good note, on a happy note.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I saw something happen today, and I just want to play it. It's two perspectives.
Okay.
It's Uber superstar was being invited onto a show.
Mm-hmm.
The director is someone that they work with. They don't know they're coming, but we have an opportunity to see both perspectives.
Okay.
So just check this out real quick.
All right, good. All right, let's go.
Hold on, Tashina. Hold on. You owe me money.
What?
I want my money. Where's my money?
What the hell? What you doing here, man? This is the wrong show.
I want my money. I want my money.
You directed all your stars, man. You directed all your co-stars. No, you didn't. All that do was...
All right, so you might not know what that is, right? So Tashina Arnold, if anybody remembers Pam from Martin, right? Buckshot, BDB. She is directing a show called The Neighborhood. Said this is going to be her last show. Cedric the Entertainer called Martin and said, hey, come surprise Pam, Tashina on the show. And so that was them bringing him in, excuse me. Now, there's another video I want you to see. And this just made me feel good.
Okay.
Because they've been getting money and doing projects for a long time. But then this.
And action.
All right. Let's keep this train running. Give me a little update.
He's in the room.
No, you're doing it, Dave.
Hold on, Tashina.
Oh. Oh my God. Are y'all getting this? Yes, we are.
No, you didn't. All I do is get Chris here.
I did not see that coming. When you said red today, I was like, fuck! Okay, we'll do it.
And so for me, it's a feel-good moment, right? Because we're always talking about black men ain't shit this, black women ain't shit this. But here you got a black man coming to support a black woman, kind of initiated by another black man to get it all going. And so oftentimes, I love that, right? Because oftentimes it does take us all working together from different angles to get a thing done. And they got it done. So I thought that was really great.
I just want to clarify when Kamari says we always talking, he ain't talking about me. He talking about y'all.
What are you talking about?
You said we always talking about how black women ain't this and black men ain't this.
I'm speaking generally.
Who is we? I don't follow that we.
Oh, God. All right. So listen, y'all, I need your help because Jimmy does the same thing, but he does a better job of catching me at it. So, but I'm speaking collectively. I mean, listen, all the relationship podcasts, oh my God, they're all trash. I'm gonna just throw them all. There's a couple. There's a couple I do like, but for the record, I'm just saying they're all trash. Like, it's crazy. They're always coming up with this crazy story. I don't know, well, you know what, I might say this for another show. But they're talking about Lisa Ray being mad at her because they said she only wants to date a millionaire. Okay, who cares? But everybody's up in arms about it. Do yours. Do you.
But my thing is, right, why get mad at her? Like, you can say, yo, that's ridiculous, but folks be taking it too far. Like, you know, good luck. And Godspeed.
Correct. All right, so I just saw Don Johnson is in the building. What up, Don?
Don, my man Vidon.
And I think this statement is well said. Large-scale movements sound good in theory, but in application false, because everyone isn't on board. Maybe we should focus on building within our own circle. And I agree with that. Listen, Jesus only had 12.
I like that. Yeah.
13 if you count him. And look at what they did. Right? Hey. I'm not sure, did Muhammad have disciples? I mean, because I guess on any given day, Islam is the biggest religion in the world, or Christianity is the biggest religion in the world. But they both came from humble beginnings. So, you know, we're always, again, to Don's point, always looking to get these mass movements when it should be, all right, yo, Jimmy, let's go support this business. And you go grab one of your friends.
Yeah.
And I'll grab another one of yours, another one of mine.
I dropped I think a reel or a short, or probably on both of them, on the About a Hood page, because it was about the idea of scaling a business, right? And how everybody's always talking about, you got to scale and you got to add this, you got to do that. And when we were in FinCon a couple of years ago in New Orleans, I had sat in on one of these sessions, and the whole session was about building $1 million business with only a couple people, right? And sometimes even being a solopreneur. And the room was packed, and everybody was trying to figure out, like, how do I not have to, you know, because you go online, everybody, you got to build this, you got to do this, you got to do this, but you can have an impact by yourself. Now, to your point, you can have an impact with a couple people, right? You know, Michael Jackson said, if you want to make the world a better place, what you got to do, man?
Look in the mirror.
Look at yourself and then make the change, man. Like, that's what it really takes.
But look in the mirror, though. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, to quote Mother Teresa, like, and I don't know, there's a lot of controversy about Mother Teresa, but she has a quote, and her quote is, if everybody goes in front of their house and sweeps the front of their house, the whole world will be clean if everybody did it.
That's a fact.
So, you know, but you know, there's a lot of controversial things about Mother Teresa, though, and whether she was racist or, you know, but that wasn't the point. The point is the quote still is what the quote is.
Right.
So Don is correct in that. This is why we got to do what we got to do on our end. You know what I mean? As the Black Wealth Rebels, we're going to do what we got to do.
Correct.
And, you know, we're going to focus on the work. Let's just focus on the work. Let's get to it.
Oh, my man, Mr. Lynch is in the building, straight from Japan. I got to reach out to you, too.
Oh, that's
we need
fire.
to talk. Yep. So, yeah, man, again, it doesn't need to be large scale. You know, when you look at some of these boards on corporations, 10, 12, maybe 20 at best, there's not a lot of people. And yes, they have the whole company, but they're the ones running it. They're the ones directing it, literally. And so, you know, you don't need everybody. You don't need a whole gang of 1,000 people to get some things done.
Man, listen, we're trying to build a community with the Black Wealth Rebels, and I don't even want to have the largest community. I want to have the right community. And I say that to say, before we get out of here, go to blackwealthrebels.com, sign up for our Patreon, even if you sign up for the free tier. I mean, obviously, we would appreciate you did the paid tier, you know, that helps us do the work. And the paid tier will get access to special content, classes. And even if you join the paid tier, we made a couple, like, small joints that, you know, maybe work with you. But if you want to join the free one, that's cool, too. Join blackwealthrebels.com. Definitely be appreciated. You know, love is love. And
I gotta give Samuel Lynch credit, because he was one of the ones that told me to do that. So
do what?
Start a Patreon.
All right. Hey, Sam, your idea, salute to Sam, but now that you said it, you got to sign up, Sam. Shout out to Sam, though.
All right, so Knoxville. So, all right, man. Anything else you got?
No, man. You know, I'm ready to keep it moving, man. You know, you said, yo, let's jump on live. You know, I'm with it. I'm with it whenever, bro. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of content coming. I'm excited about the Black Wealth Rebels. All kinds of content coming, man. Like, some of the stuff we're working on, you probably have never seen on the Finance Rebels page or the Buy the Hood page, but we're gonna bring certain things to you from a Black perspective, right?
Correct.
And that's what's going to be amazing about it. So we're gonna have fun with this. Look out for our content. We dropping content every day. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Every day.
And while you're at it, do us a favor also, and I probably shouldn't do this, but also subscribe to our Black Rebels page on YouTube.
There you go.
So
there you go.
Well, I appreciate everybody that chimed in tonight, that joined us tonight. Y'all could have been somewhere taste testing that turkey for tomorrow, but you chose to stay with us. So we appreciate you all. And don't forget, Friday, we are here Friday nights. Freedom Fridays.
Yeah, we changed the name of the show. It's Freedom Fridays now. And I'm gonna give away some Bitcoin. We're giving away a brand new, unopened, still in this packaging, a BitKey. A cold storage wallet called a BitKey, which is brought to you by the folks at Square. Shout out to Omar, who's in our community, who donated this as a way, something to give away. So, you know, this has I think they got a Black Friday sale now where you can buy them for a bean, but it used to cost a deuce. But we're giving it away. Even you ain't got to pay a bean for it. We're going to do a giveaway, but you got to subscribe to Black Wealth Rebels on Patreon, even if it's the free tier. YouTube, that's free. Instagram is free and TikTok is free. So just make sure you get with the new program, the Black Wealth Rebels, and come to the Friday live. We put into the random draw. We will give this away.
Now, real quick, Jimmy, what in the world is a key? What is a Bitcoin key?
So it's called the BitKey, is the name of the actual cold storage wallet. So when you take self-custody of Bitcoin, meaning that it's not on an exchange, it's actually something that you control. You have different storage options. You have hot storage, or some people say non-cold, but it's a hot storage, or you can use a cold wallet or a hot wallet. The difference between a cold wallet and a hot wallet, to be very simple, is that a hot wallet is still connected to the internet. If you go on your iPhone or your Samsung right now and you look up a wallet, you can get a wallet and you can move your stuff off the exchange. You still control it, but remember that wallet is connected to the internet. These cold wallets aren't connected to the internet at all until you're ready to make a transaction. So literally, whatever's on your cold wallet is between you and your God in the blockchain, and it's not, it's the most secure way to secure Bitcoin is by having it in some form of cold storage. Wow. So I said that to say we're going to give this away. And in my opinion, and by the way, if you go to the Buy the Hood page, I got a whole review on the BitKey that I did because I actually used one of these myself. I have 3 different cold solutions, but this is one of them. And you can see my review of the BitKey to see exactly what it is. Then pull up on Friday and, try to win it.
And what time are we going live on Friday, Jimmy?
7 p.m. I'm laughing at the last comment.
Oh, I didn't see it.
That's our sister Adrienne, also from the Shy. Translate bean and a deuce. My apologies. A bean is 100. A deuce is 2. Right? So 200. 200 is a deuce. A bean is 100. You know what I'm saying? I apologize. I'm speaking in a little my Philly vernacular.
Philly slang.
Yeah. Bean and a deuce. You know what I mean? But I am bilingual though. You know what I'm saying? I speak AAVE in English.
African American vernacular English.
Yeah, in regular English, in King George III's English.
All right, y'all. So I appreciate you all being here. Don't forget to pull up on us on Friday. And we'll be back with some more interesting topics. Let us know anything that you are interested in learning about. Throw it in the comments. But we'll see you all soon.
Peace.